It's not like I can go talk to people or anything. But we're going to dive into the pretentious domain. I'm not entirely certain what my goal is. I kind of would like to go visit Kralmire. Kralmire was week 4. This was Kralmire, Fortress Kralmire. It's a small kind of remote area. And I built a little tavern. Like the whole point of it was I built a little tavern, and it's right there. And I'd like to go visit this fortress. Although they did get attacked by a werelama, which was kind of terrifying. I would like to go visit this fortress. So I'm going to make a little goblin poet with the goal of making my way to Kralmire, one of my own locations. And we're going to start, probably try and start as part of the same faction, although this faction is almost dead. The Hopeful Ages. So I need another dwarven faction that isn't at war with them. Become werelama? I mean, they didn't get infected with werelamas. Only Krugsmash's wife, husband? I'm actually not sure. Krugsmash's lover was the one killed by it, which was kind of amazing. But, I mean, you know. Let's get in. Let's get into this, shall we? But yeah, no, I like the direction that my channel and the stuff that I'm doing is going in right now. And I hope that you guys are on for the ride with me. Because, I don't know. I guess I talk about the stuff that I do as being weird a lot, whether or not that's necessarily true. It's not that weird, but I don't know. I feel like we've managed to just build a group of people that are interested in a very specific style of game, and that's really cool to me. That's really cool. And I just hope that that can continue. For at least, a few more years. Hey, Baileys. How are we doing? All right, so the faction that was... that was Kralmire was up there in the top right of the map. Looks like if I start as a goblin... I can start up in that corner of the map. So that's probably what we'll do. We're going to start as a goblin. Dagger of Steam. The Defensive Still Sacks. The Confederation of Candy. It's such a good name. The Confederation of Candy. The Scalded Books. True Gravel. Moral Paddle. Still one of the best names in this world. Just period. Well, what actually was the name of that faction? What? Hopeful Ages. Am I just not seeing the Hopeful Ages on here? True Gravel. Yeah, I'm not seeing the Hopeful Ages on here. Maybe I can't, I guess I can't be part of that faction then. Messianic Fields. That's an Elven group from the looks of things. Let's join them. Because, there we go. That's pretty close. So if we start up here, that right there is Kralmire, right there. That is Kralmire. So we could start up here at an Elven forest retreat. Roughly 100 live there. Whispered Velvet. And our little goblin can go join. Seems cozy. What do we think? Because I know Pilot said he wanted to see an Elven forest retreat. And I will attach real quick. Tithu is the name. I'm going to go with the generated name. I'm going to attach this little document I'm going to be building. To the adventurers section of the document. So if you'd like to follow along, you can do so there. I don't know if anybody actually does. Chat, do any of you guys actually follow along with these documents that I make? Yeah, Seed Walk. What's the backstory of the goblin? Well, my goal for this goblin's pretty simple. Pilot guy, because, like, you know, I'm personally still kind of learning adventure mode. I am very bad at it, and I've never really put the time in to learn it. So we're playing goblins because they don't need to eat or drink. So, like, immediately that's two mechanics I just don't need to worry about, and that immediately helps improve my my dwarves' life or character's life expectancy significantly. So I'm a goblin for that reason. The goal for this goblin is I want to make it down to Kralmire, which is this fortress, which I don't think I'm at war with. I don't think. Anyway, I want to visit Kralmire. That's my whole goal. So it's going to be a very short adventure. I'm going to put a bunch of points into, like, poetry and reading and stuff like that. And I'm just going to go sing and dance and be a poet. Because I'm not really worrying about combat and things. I'm basically just, like, trying to get good at traveling and socializing and the conversation systems and all that stuff in adventure mode, because this is how I learn stuff. I do things kind of one at a time. I focus on a thing until I learn it, and then I focus on another thing until I learn it. And so right now it's just movement, traversing, exploration, and finding my way to places is all I'm really working on right now. Once I kind of have that shit down packed, at that point, then we'll start going into goblin pits and stabbing things with somebody that actually needs to eat and drink. So, like, you know, probably the first 6 to a dozen adventures I'm going to do are going to be things that don't need to eat or drink. So as far as, like, backstory, I don't really have one for this little goblin. All I know is that we are starting in, we are a goblin woodcrafter in this forest retreat, and we're starting from there, one thing at a time. I'm just going to screenshot some things. But, yeah. So let's just go to next. As far as our... Oopsies. Wrong thing. As far as attributes, let's put up agility. Toughness. I don't know about endurance or if I'll be running from things. I might be. Let's increase our linguistic ability by a bunch. And creativity. And willpower. Over here, because I said I was going to... Apparently we're a professional woodcrafter, but I want to be a musician, singer, speaker, poet, writer, wordsmith, reader. So I'm going to make us an adequate reader, a competent poet, an adequate speaker, an adequate singer. We'll say a novice musician. And then put the rest into dance. No, let's take down speaking by 1 point and put it into dance instead. The screen has sound effects? No. There is no sound effects. Everything that you're hearing is stuff that I'm playing. I have a noise generator, and I have the background music all running. Let's put some points into lying. As for our little goblin, his hair is extremely long. He has low cheekbones. His teeth are crowded. He has a broad body. His somewhat narrow red eyes are close set. He has a low voice. His broad, short ears are flattened. His lips are thin. His eyelashes are short. His eyebrows are short. His hair is dark scarlet. Ooh. And his skin is ash gray. See, there we go. There's a gray goblin. A gray goblin. Dark scarlet. Of course, he personally believes that those who sacrifice for others should be deeply respected and views loyalty unfavorably. Dreams of seeing the great natural places of the world. All of this stuff here is being stuck in this document, which is linked right there. So if you'd like this, you can grab it there and do what you want with it. He truly treasures the company of others, feels strong urges and seeks short-term rewards, is very comfortable around others that appear different from himself. He is sometimes cruel and dislikes helping others. He is troubled by this because he truly respects sacrifice. He likes to brawl and tends to not be swayed by emotional appeals. He does not often feel lustful, and he tends to form only tenuous emotional bonds with others. He tries to keep these things orderly and can occasionally lose focus on the matter at hand. He is quick to form negative views about things and only rarely feels discouraged. He is rarely happy or enthusiastic and conflicted by this, as he values parties and merrymaking in the abstract, doesn't often feel envious of others. Red eyes are universal. Well, yes, they're goblins. They all have that red eye look. Now there's the question is, should I bring anything? Willow arrows and a quiver. I feel like I could bring better arrows than willow arrows. But also, we are starting in an elven spot, so. Is it common to mod goblins to die of old age to prevent crowding in older worlds? I've never heard of anybody doing that, so probably not. Something to write my poetry on? I don't know if it's possible for me to do that, or actually I have no idea how to do that, is what I should really say. I mean, I could bring a scroll with me, a blank scroll. I have no idea how writing in DF works. I think actually maybe it would be in the create screen. Does anybody know what I would need to bring to be able to write? You make them cap out at 60 years? Oh, really? Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't say it's common because like you're literally the first person I've ever heard mention it. So. Coffee. Good coffee. Let's bring a few more arrows. Let's bring 40 arrows. Arami thong. You gotta bring that thong. Cotton backpack. Water skin. Let's bring a dagger. Although my options are like wood stuff. So maybe don't bother. You know, let's bring a pearwood puzzle box. Need a scroll or choir? Yeah, that's kind of what I thought. Yeah, so this faction doesn't have anything. Although, I have to set it to the... Let's check tools. Pedestals, altars. Yeah, it doesn't look like we have any options for that. I mean, I could bring an instrument. But I don't know what any of these are. So, maybe not the best idea. Could bring feather tree eggs. Although those are things I get to throw at people, I guess. No pen needed. Yeah, I knew that there was no, because like there's no writing materials in DF, but yeah, I can't bring a choir. Yeah, it's just quivers. It's because of the faction, so. But we'll bring a pearwood puzzle box and see if we can find stuff. I don't know. As far as pets, dude, we should bring a pet bat. We should have a pet bat. We have a pet bat. Giant cougars. Oh, right. Yeah, because these are, this is an elf faction, so they have all sorts of fun animals. You want just a giant grizzly? Although I don't have enough points for that. Greenbacks. I don't know what that is. What's a greenback? A war jaguar. I kind of want to bring a hunting leopard. Fucking cat. Fucking moose. I can bring a moose. Damn. Why do I always read Storks' shark? Yeah, I have no idea what you're talking about, Stone. Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah. We could bring a giant wolf. Although, again, I don't have enough points. Huh. I don't need a water skin. And screw that damn puzzle box. What do you guys think? Fucking grizzly bear? I could probably ride a grizzly bear, right? I can't afford the giant ones. They're a little expensive at 500. But I could bring a giant jaguar. Just fingers crossed, you're right. I wonder if I can ride a giant flying squirrel. I can't do the wars because the war jaguars are 501, but I could bring just a giant jaguar, which is big. Like big. Let's just bring a giant jaguar. Why not? All right, so we've got a pet giant jaguar and a pet bat. I know it's not a sports car, but I'm imagining a sports car. So this is us. Thithu Arebirer. A goblin. We might actually be at war with the place that we're going. I'm going to keep camera off for this. You finally got your equipment together, such as it is. Now it is time for action and adventure. In the rush of excitement, you've forgotten where you are going and where you were going to go. Perhaps some of your friends can remind you. Look at that. Our giant jaguar right next to us. Remember, just because we have the dwarf icon does not mean we're a dwarf. We are definitely still a goblin. Definitely still a goblin. We are going to dance on tables. Well, first, actually, we're going to poke around this Elven Forest Retreat, is what we're going to do first. Which is where we started. An elf has become enraged. I need to look for a second. Okay, so that is just salty clay. I just want to make sure that that was actually salty clay and not like, blood. Kind of checking the upper layers above. Oh. The wild boar so kicks. Did my jaguar just attack the wild boars? My jaguar is attacking a wild boar. Wait. Well, at least my jaguar seems to be doing pretty good against these wild boars. Looks like it's winning. They started it. I mean, I'm pretty sure my jaguar just went and fucking murdered these wild boars. And there it goes even more. Okay. Go get him, buddy. We're going to have wild boar bacon for weeks. Does anybody know how... Ooh. I think... Hopefully, it's a good thing that... Ooh. It's a good thing that they're wild boars. Where are you going there? Okay. Good kitty? Exactly. It's like, I don't know if this is good kitty or not. Kitty! Come back to me, kitty. Oh, there you are. I mean, it's just... It gets excited, okay? It just gets excited. I mean, I could totally help by shooting arrows at it, but, like, seems like it's doing just fine by itself. I don't think it really needs my help. All right. Let's see. Strap the bow to your upper body. Yeah, okay. Oh, no. Well... My jaguar's a little injured. Nothing too major, though. Pet kitty. How do I do that? I want to say it's CB... Nope. That's announcements. Hold on. I need to pop the hotkeys up. I'm trying to figure out how to ride it so it'll stop going after these. Is it H? You're telling me it's H. Well, I got the page up now. Ah. There we go. Now I'm riding my giant jaguar. Much better. Whew. It's even better. I move way faster. And I don't need to worry about it, goring fucking giant wild boars. I'm looking for these elfy houses, and I don't see any. Just these pathways. Supposedly like 100 people live here. I don't see any of them, though. I say good kitty, chat. Kitty was just giving us presents. It was very effective at it. Seems like an appropriate pet for a goblin to have, just an obnoxiously large cat. This is actually just Jaguar King. We're a Tiger King, but Dwarf Fortress. There's a bunch of wild boars over there. A little hill, which we can run up. Let's keep poking around. All right, there's more wild boars. Sorry. I mean, I could jump up to the travel. I mean, it's a forest retreat. I'm not seeing... Ah, there's some tree houses. Perfect. Ah, there are some elves. Greetings. My name is Ul, Manordorn. Let's see if I can speak with these people. Checks hotkeys. I don't want to accidentally, hit somebody. Yeah, I got it. Thanks, though. Ongoing conversation. Reply to greeting. I hear that a group from the Masonic Fields left to reclaim the ruins of Whisper's Velvet. Well, that's interesting. Ask for directions to Whisper's Velvet. We are in Whisper's Velvet. Oh. The late Queen of Deserts, of Music, founded Whisper's Velvet. Okay. So they recently reclaimed this place, I guess. Ask why they are traveling. Just out for a stroll. All right. Let's say goodbye. Of course we're in Whisper's Velvet. Yeah, I don't know why I possibly wouldn't know that. There's more elves. More elfy people. I'm looking for their tree houses. I haven't seen any. Because, like, top right is the layer above me and 2 layers above me. So I'm looking for tree houses. I'm looking for... What was that? I'm looking for tree houses. Seems like riding my giant jaguar makes it much less destructive. As hilarious as it is, just letting it run around and murder things. What's that? A fat gray parrot. Huh. Delicious. Fat gray parrot. I wonder if they talk. Oh shit, a bridge. I've discovered a river. It's truly amazing how Dwarf Fortress is once you're like, running around in the open world. Because like, Dwarf Fortress manages to generate worlds that are more interesting to traverse than many high budget open world games. Which is crazy. There's another bridge. Look at this. A little neat little bit of terrain right here. A little trench. There's more gray parrots. Huh. Just kind of enjoying wandering around this elven retreat. The Elvish Goblin Poet. I wonder how a goblin ends up living with elves like this. Still looking for their tree houses, because that's what I wanted to try and find. More wild boars. More fat parrots. I wonder if they've domesticated those. Elves are definitely pretty good about that. What do you mean? What got bored of all of the murder? I don't know what you're on about. Okay, so there's supposedly 2 tree houses right here. Supposedly. Oh, there's one. You can see it. I think it's in this tree. How do I climb? I wonder if I could make my cat climb. Although I don't have any skills in climbing, so. But there you go. There's an elven forest treehouse up there. Oh, you leave the Goblin Land to be an elf because you get tired of all the legal murder. I mean, murder being legal is definitely, I guess, an issue for things. I mean, I could try and get up in there. Let's see, actually. Let's see if I can run over. If I go up this. Aw. Let's dismount. I can't, like... Man. I guess I have to climb it off of the critter. Yeah, I can climb if I get off the jaguar. I was just kind of trying to figure out if I could... Although I think that elf is berserk up there. There we go. There's some tree houses over there on the right in that big tree. Some more tree houses. Climb to open space above. Oh. I went too high. Climb to open space below. There we go. They're just like, oh, hello. Northwest. Perfect. Elves don't do stairs. I mean, they also are better at climbing than most other people. But yeah, there's the Elven Forest Retreat. We managed to climb up to it. And now we're up here with a small crowd of elves. Just sit in trees all day? I mean, they're pretty chill. Smooth date palm branches. There's some more smooth date palm branches. They also don't really do the furniture stuff. They're basically greeting each other. The first one says, I've been all right. The second one says, that hemp dress really makes the outfit. And the third one says, I like to dress well. Well, the first one again says, I like to dress well. They're like complimenting each other and chatting. There's also quite a lot of elves on the screen, right? They're quite chatty on the screen as well. I just don't like somebody. Truly, why should I help? One should always return a favor. Time spent in reflection is admirable. But you must not forget to live your life. Let's get out of here, shall we? They sound like the people in American Psycho. I mean, that's kind of how everybody in DF talks. That's not unique to elves. That's just kind of how people in Dwarf Fortress talk. Traveling on the overworld now. There's a bunch more elven retreats. So now I'm kind of working my way down here. Around the other elven retreats. We're trying to make our way down to Krolmire. I mean, I've been to elven retreats before. It's a lot of climbing, man. I'm not built for that. I think that's why we're heading towards more dwarfy establishments, I guess. but it is getting dark out. There's a little hill here. Come on. Friend, let's find somewhere we can sleep. Seems like a decent enough spot. Looks like only the ear on my big cat buddy is damaged after the fights with the jaguars. No, it wasn't that. What would you like to throw? I can throw my pet bat. Holy shit. No, that's not what I would like to do. What was I looking for? So I'd like to try and do a thing. Not that I need to do it, but I would like to try and do it. Make sharp rock. Compose poem. The veneration of the North strangers. I'm composing a poem. You have composed, it must have been cats. The work has no particular subject. The writing is organized, yet has a hint of viciousness to it. Overall, the poetry is passable. Congrats, chat. We have composed a piece of knowledge. And I'm going to go to natural ability, and we are going to pet. Our pet. Big kitty. Is there any reason, select creature. I'm trying to select the creature. Oh, I see. There we go. Hit A. There we go. We pet our kitty. Potentially predictable considering the boar murder. I mean, what? It must have been cats? I mean, do you think that we just wrote a poem about the boar murder? Because I think it's definitely possible we just wrote a poem about boar murder. I should have screenshotted the "it must have been cats" thing. Oh well. Let's write another poem. Let's see what we get. Compose poem. Of the North strangers once again. You have composed Route Ever Onward. The work has no particular subject. The writing has a hint of viciousness to it. I guess that's because I'm a goblin, right? It'll just always have a hint of viciousness. It's not awful, but not very good either. The last one was better. The last one was passable. This one is not awful, but not very good either. We did better the first time. Let's try again. Write another work for the North strangers. I should probably sleep at some point. We're drowsy. You have composed terrible gallery. The work has no particular subject. The rite is clearly organized. Yet it has a hint of viciousness to it. And it's passable. There we go. We wrote some more passable poetry. Excellent. Good night of poetry, I think. And it's time for us to get some sleep, as the sun has since come up. These are good mountains. Interesting. Aristocratic, hello. You played a goblin detective once by the name of Treehopper. He was looking for a person in an overpopulated elven area. A lot of climbing and asking around. Too much of it. Kinda relieved when he came across the elven vampire and got torn apart by it. That's funny. That's the button to stand up. S. There we go. You stand up. But how's things, Aristocratic? We're just playing some adventure mode before eventually switching over to fortress mode with Long Death. If you would like to follow along, type an exclamation point Dayforts in the chat. Dayfort. And select Season 2. And this is the second adventurer in the Adventurers section at the bottom right of the screen. We are a goblin, and we are riding a giant jaguar. We came from an elven civ, and I'm working my way to one of my old forts. We are a poet. That they all have their own unique food sources based on where they're from is super neat. Let's jump up to here. I like to walk a little bit on the actual world map. You know, I wonder how big the mouth of that river is. I want to go see. Let's see if we can find it. Maybe a good spot to source some inspiration. There we go. You discover a river. Oh, not as big as I was hoping. Wait, look at that. Some yaks. Also, another reason why I've been kind of hanging around this mountain range is because it's a good biome. Look at this. We've got these little bubble bulbs. There's the mouth of the river. Just grabbing more screenshots. I think we should write we should write a poem here. What do you guys think? Seems like a good spot to write a poem if you ask me. Let's dismount. We're going to lead the jaguar so it doesn't go beat up those poor yaks. So we're going to compose a poem of the North Strangers. Late into the night. You have composed The Sun Sets on Dourness. The writing has no particular subject. The writing has a hint of viciousness to it. It's not awful, but not very good either. I think we can do better. Elven orchards, human fields, underground farms, goblins have nothing. I mean, because they don't eat, yeah. Although I feel like if goblins did eat, if they did eat, they would probably get their meals from hunting, I would assume, like the local wildlife. Also, I like this one. You have composed My Friend Eel. The work has no particular subject. The writing has a hint of viciousness, and it is passable. We wrote a passable piece of poetry. I guess that this was a good place for inspirations. We composed late into the night, and the sun has set. I think it's time for us to sleep. Yeah. Little goblin. It's a nice little mental image, if nothing else. It imagines goblins do a combo of hunting and ranching. Hunting, ranching, and like, I'll bet you, like, you know, goblins don't eat, right? Like, that's why we're discussing this. But I feel like goblins probably would munch on a beetle, or like something that they pick up from the ground. Like, I kind of feel like they're the kind of critters who would be like, cockroach. No. Are those Kias? I don't know. We'll find out. What are them's? Probably Ikeas? IKEA! Chat, we found IKEA. I'm gonna let my... Go get him, kitty! Oh, wait, am I leading you still? No, I'm not, actually. Kitty does not seem particularly interested in going after them. Well, good kitty. After the sun has come up. All right, we shall get back onto our kitty. Poke around a little more. Foraging scavengers, which is kind of my headcanon for everything that doesn't eat in Dwarfort, you know? Things, when they don't eat, regardless of whether or not they actually eat. In my mind, I imagine them as actually eating. They're just simply more of the foraging type. You know, like when it says goblins don't eat, it's like, well, I believe goblins probably do eat, but the thing that they're eating is just like, you know, doesn't require any kind of preparation, you know? Like, this guy's probably eating. Ooh, is that a mountain goat? It's a mountain goat. Look at that. Like, he's probably eating, but he's definitely eating, like, you know, things that you wouldn't really want to think about eating. You know what I mean? Like, it's not going to be the kinds of meals that you'd be cooking. It's the kind of meal that would make most people who think about eating maggots squirm, you know? You prefer my roaming band of moosemen, murder hobos? See, I'm terrible at adventure mode, troll potato, so this is very much like how I learn things. Right now I'm like getting very well acquainted with like riding an animal and doing all this stuff, because like I've only done this twice before, I think. So I'm very much learning, you know, and this is how I learn, and it's very slow. And to the point where like, if I'm doing like a first run through of a new game that I never played before, there will always be somebody who comments on my YouTube videos going, God, you're terrible at learning shit, because I am. I'm really slow at learning things. I'm good at retaining knowledge. It's learning it that's hard for me, especially learning UI for games. So this is all just kind of part of my learning process. We'll get to the point where we can be a bunch of murder hobos at some point, but for right now, we're sticking to more passive adventurers, you know? Just kind of like sightseeing around the natural wonders of the world and writing poetry and keeping a diary and all that stuff. Like, that's super cool to me. It's going to take us a little bit to get to the point where we can be nightmare murder hobos, but I'm sure we'll get there, you know? And like, if you really want murder hobos in adventurers, you can absolutely do that. Oh, look, dead rat. Exactly. Nom. Crunch. It's not even a year past on your embarks and you're dead already walking. Really? Wow. Already dead. Although I'm kind of curious. What do you guys think of my style of adventure mode now that we've done 2 streams of this? Where it's just kind of, you know, I'm just kind of sightseeing, chilling, relaxing. Hey, Mirthsoft, what's up? Oh. I bumped into a yak bull. And it seems like my jaguar bit it. Yeah, my jaguar attacked the yak bull. Let's go get a yak. Come here, motherfucker. What? Come on, Jaggy, get him. Come on, just smack. Just... No? Okay. You only wanted to hit him the one time? Fine. Poor yak. I mean, he's gonna go yak about it to his friends. All right, let's travel again. Let's move. So there's a dwarven fort over here. I'm not sure if it's friendly. Stroke gems, a dwarven hillocks. There's a bridge up here. See if they're friendly. we arrive at Stroke Gems. Some bright sand. Oh, of course. Eventually, we could be a wandering necromancer and his zombie army. Speaking of zombies, that's what this place appears to be full of. A muscular dwarven corpse. A broad dwarf corpse. Well, seems like, yeah, they're attacking for sure. This place seems friendly. Seems like Stroke Gems has seen better days, friends. But yeah, we're gonna vamoose, I think. It's okay. I move way faster than zombies. Don't be too worried. I mean, like, look at my speed. I'm 2,170 speed. Like, I think I could probably walk faster than these zombies. There's a lot of them, though. Holy shit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Jeez. Just kind of wandering around the outside here, just taking a look. Because I'm not too worried, because I can outrun them. We discover a river. I mean, I'm sure that's the least of our concerns right now. Better pray your mount doesn't get spooked. I mean, it's a giant jaguar. Seems to be okay so far. They didn't really come close, so let's... Oh, they're coming up and over, though. All right, yeah, let's get outy, I think. Hey, look, a horsey. What an upsetting tale of misery that... An upsetting tale. There's another fortress over to the west, so we're heading in that direction. Looks like the trail has ended. Let's jump up to the overworld again. Yeah, we're gonna need to leave this place, that's for sure. This place was definitely a curse. Although, I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna kind of sneak around the side here. And let's get down to this road. Oh, I can't walk along that road. I guess I'm going to need to travel manually. I can't fast travel along it. We have discovered a river. There's our road that we were looking for. So we're going to follow this road. Can't cross a mountain like that? Oh, what? In the There's marmots, I think. Wait, what? Yeah, just marmots. Looks like the marmot attacked me, excuse me? It hit back. The fucking... My jaguar hit the marmot, and then the marmot just hit back. Okay. We will definitely follow the dirt road. And yes, we got ambushed by some Horay marmots. Sorry, I was just updating the document. Well, that's a dead marmot. You know, wouldn't want to put that to waste now, would we? Let's dismount and lead my animal. Let's see if I can butcher this. B. There we go. Thin Horay marmot mutilated corpse. No appropriate tool. I need a sharp stone, me think. Blunt small rock. So I need a blunt. I need a small rock. Let's see how I do that. Oh yeah, right. You can make there's a cloudberry flower. You pick a cloudberry flower. Hold on. Are these all cloudberries? Get silty clay loam. Oh, another one died. Nothing to pick up here. How do I get a small rock to make into a sharp rock, chat? Because I know how to pick leaves. But I don't know how to... Like, and I can get sands. I picked a cloudberry flower. Means I probably got cloudberry flowers and stuff in my hands. What, butcher a marmot? Why wouldn't I want to butcher a marmot? I have a dead marmot. I might as well butcher it. Maybe I can make something out of its skull. Seems perfectly reasonable to me. I need a pebble tile. Okay. That's not what I want. That's the jump button. I don't want to jump. Insert. I don't know what pebbles look like. I know what sand looks like. I was like, there's sand, sawgrass. By rivers. Wasn't there a river back this way? Let's see if I can find a pebble. There's a bunch of goats. So many goats. I mean, I could start a forest fire. Ooh, that looks like a pebble. Hold up. Get small cert rock. There we go. Make sharp rock. Oh. I keep putting it in my backpack. So I think I need it in my hand. I keep, oh, my bat's sitting on my shoulder. That's adorable. Heading back over to where the marmot's bodies are, and then I'll check the hotkeys. But I have 2 small rocks in my backpack. Bum, ba, da, bum, bum. I know I'm wielding a flower. I'm well aware of that. I'm trying to figure out how to cease wielding a flower. I'm wielding a flower and a fruit, I think, actually. You know, what if I just... Oh, I licked the cloudberry. I was like, can I just eat it? Yeah, I don't know how to put them down. There we go. G. B. H. B. There we go. Okay, so I put the flowers in my backpack. You take out a small cert rock. There we go. We're doing this. Create sharp rock. There we go. I've made a sharp rock, so I should now have a sharp rock. Should? No appropriate tool. What do I need then? Or is it in my backpack? Do I need to not be wielding it? Okay, no, supposedly I didn't make it into a sharp rock. Maybe I need to pull the other one out of my backpack. Make sharp rock. There we go. Cool. Now I have a sharp rock. Because I needed to have both of them in my hands. And then I butchered the corpse. Yay! I did it! Get Hore Marmot Bone. Hore Marmot Skull. Excellent. I mean, I don't think there's anything I can do with the meat. I mean, I could, what's the word? That's not what I wanted. I could make a campfire. I can eat it. I mean, I don't need to eat it, so why would I bother? I mean, I guess I could get the 7 meat and then put the sharp rock in my backpack and where did it go? My bat's on my head. Would you look at that? Drink coating of my own tears? You can drink your own tears? Excuse me? Did I not pick that stuff up? I guess I didn't. Oh, I didn't pick it up. Okay. 7. You pick it up with your right hand. All right. Let's eat that fat. You lick it. Okay, well I can't I guess I can't eat the fat. Well, did I not pick up the meat? I thought I did. I'm very confused by why you keep saying H, Stone. You're not helping in the slightest. If you're trying to help, you're not. You guys wanted me to stream this, so you're going to have to deal with me learning this. Sure, but you have to tell me the context of just hitting H. If you just hit H and say H, I don't know what that means. H in what menu? H in what object? H in what situation? You got to give more context than just saying H. There you go. I ate it. Otherwise, you're not actually helping. You're just typing letters in, which is sure, and it's appreciated, but like it's just not super useful. Hopefully that makes sense. Let's mount our Jaguar again. Get back to moving. It's easy, but not like adventure mode. You need to type letters all the time. I mean, isn't that just like... I mean, yeah, a quick stop for lunch because my Jaguar killed a marmot. Hey, I made a sharp rock, which I've done before, which is basic crafting in adventure mode. Progress has been made. Oh no, there's a split in the path. Well, we've passed where we were going, so if I keep going this way, I should run into the Dwarven fort. Let's find out if this one is run by zombies too. What was that? Suddenly frame rate got chunky. Bet you that means there's a lot of units. Would you look at that? Hello, Goblin. Or not Goblin. Dwarf. There be Dwarf. A muscular dungeon master. See if I can talk with him. He says, hello. Hello, Goblin. I am Metob. Action ropes. I'm not sure if I'm into action ropes, chat. I'm gonna quickly use the restroom, chat. Back in a moment. Although, if you're lurking in the stream, could I please get a big round of beers? I'll be back in a moment. All right, I made it back. You can have a beer with lunch. And your bosses don't get upset about that. Ask the listener how he's feeling. There is no room for mercy in this world. It's a little weird. I'm walking towards the Dwarven fortress and there's just a dungeon master on the side of the road. Screenshot that. I do wonder why they're all the way out here. Inquire about any troubles. Well, let's see. We've got an army on the march. Beasts, criminals, bandits, skulking vermin, bone-chilling horror, and brewing trouble, with neighbors and the missing treasure. It's like, hey, what trouble do you have here? Yes. Sounds like things are pretty good in this neck of the woods. We got an army on the march, beasts, criminals, bandits, skulking vermin. Thank you, Pilot, for gifting a subscription to B-Log. Means a lot, man. The first resub or gift sub or any kind of sub of the day. Cheers, man. Chat, can we get another round of beers for that? All right. Well, I will bid this dwarf goodbye. Well, actually, let's ask about the criminals. A sprawling criminal organization has left our people living in fear. They have a town called Bolstokes, somewhere in the Hill of Breath. If anybody happens to have this world installed, look up Bolstokes for me. I'm really curious about who lives there, what this dwarf is talking about. Let's ask for... It must be stopped with violent force. It is not your problem. It is inevitable, I say. Ask for directions to Bolstokes. I don't know myself. I don't even know anybody that could tell you. They're not very helpful. Let's ask about the local ruler. The Hopeful Ages rules Krallmire. Oh shit, we're actually at the entrance to Krallmire. Damn, I didn't actually realize that. I didn't realize we'd made it here to our destination so quickly. You am a Bolstoke, are you? Change the subject. I'm going to comment on the weather. The weather looks fine today. Doesn't seem to be super interested in discussing the weather, although he is impatient with me. So I'm going to tell him a joke. So, the lungfish and the giant kiwis. And he says, you're funny. Funny, Goblin. Positive attitude. There you go. That fixed his attitude towards me. Let's ask about the listener's family. The head of the family is Metob Action Ropes. In the early spring of about my family. Okay. Here we go. Tell me about your family. And the Dungeon Master says, the head of the family is Metob Action Ropes. In the early spring of 360, I became the Dungeon Master of the Hopeful Ages. So we've done one fortress since then. Recite poetry? I mean, obviously. I need to find the menu option on here. How do I recite poetry? Torture him with bad poetry? Here's the thing. My poetry's pretty good. Say goodbye. Oh, say goodbye and then I have to recite poetry, right? Right, yes. Begin a performance. Recite a poem. I should do the... I know so many poems. Cook. Cook is an example of the teacher of oracles. The world has no particular subject and the writing is full of force, but the poetry is inspired. Cosmos North is a cool fucking sounding poem. It's an example of the wise paper. It has no particular subject. The writing is somewhat self-indulgent. The poetry is very, very bad. I mean, curious heaven. This one is masterful. The work has no particular subject. It is an example of the residents of libraries. Let's find one of the ones that I wrote, if I can find it. Hoof, also masterful. It must have been cats. This is the one that I wrote. It is passable. I am performing. So from the top of my giant jaguar, I am reciting my poem called It Must Have Been Cats. I wonder how impressed this dwarf is. How you doing, Sock Smell? Guess we're done our poem. Goodbye, Dungeon Master. We have discovered another river. Hopefully it's a good lunch. It's a nice bridge. Yeah. Everything around here is nice and bright. We're heading to Krollmeyer, which is a tiny little fortress that we built 2 weeks ago. I think the VOD like just went up on Sunday. I don't think I've gone past it. Oh, no, I've definitely gone past it. Oh, apparently I can't move here. The Mire of Larks. What fort is that? That has to be it. So I guess up, maybe? Oh, don't walk onto the tree. Classic. Giant jaguar move, walks onto a tree. Oh, there we go. This looks familiar. Plenty of pigs outside. We arrive in Krollmeyer. So this was a fortress I did 2 weeks ago. Oopsies. But if I jump over to this document, this was Krollmeyer. Little fortress that I built, nothing too crazy. It was mostly focused around building a tower, or not tower, a tavern that then got attacked by a werelama. We did end up finishing the tavern, but never got any guests, because unfortunately this area is much more hostile than I thought it was. But we have successfully made it to our destination. There's a dead Kia. Excellent, I say. Who are you? It's an obese militia commander. Some dwarves fishing. Main courtyard area. Very injured kitty. A child who is either startling that chicken or I startled the chicken. Everything okay here, friend? The wavy-haired dwarf bites the capybara in the head, tearing the fat and bruising the muscle. It's a dwarf fighting with a capybara. Between a dwarf and a capybara. Not a particularly major fight. I wonder which dwarf this is. I'll bet you I could help with my big kitty. Never mind. He's dead. I mean, I can't because he's dead, but I mean, huh. Regardless, my big kitty scratched it. My big kitty is fighting with the capybara number 1. We're gonna go kill the capybara number 2. I could have helped, but unfortunately, I was too late. These are the kitchens, the back of the tavern, the farms. What a mess indeed, yeah. What an absolute mess indeed. Going to greet this listening. Hello, my name is Tito Seedwalk. And the broker Usteth, Seymour Mang, says, hello, Goblin. I am Usteth, Union Slash. I need to sneeze. All right, sneeze twice, and dark times here, I think. What kind of blood is that? Just a spattering of blood? We have an obese mare, close-set eyes dwarven child, and an armor, and a mangled capybara corpse. Seems like they've been kind of attacked by capybaras recently. Doesn't quite seem ideal. Let's move down into the fortress. Do a little bit of exploring. Whoop. Yeah, the capybara appear to be revolting. And doing some pretty major damage to the poor fort. There's the beds. The lock the door button. And the bedrooms. Yeah, this fortress really appears to be having some problems. Which is unfortunate. But at the same time, what can you really do, right? There's a sheep. I'm going to dismount and lead. And let's begin a performance. I'm going to recite a poem. And she sang Slayer is an example of the wayward stranger. The work has no particular subject, and the writing throughout is ornate and refined. Overall, poetry is passable. There we go. We are now telling poetry. Perhaps I should go over here too, where we can see a little better. Recite another poem. For that one, I don't know, but I'm much more interested in the ones that I've written. Trampled Chant. The trampled chant is an example of the duty of influence. This is something that we know. The work has no particular subject. The writing is a moment to is a moment to that. I can't read apparently, and it has a very serious tone. Overall, the poetry is masterful. The duty of influence is a dramatic, poetic form concerning immortality, originating in the nightmare of words. The rules of the form are applied to the poets to produce, or applied by the poets to produce individual poems, which can be recited. The poem is divided into 5 tracts and a line. Use of vivid imagery and is characteristic of the form. Into 4 or 5 tracts in a line. I don't know anything about poetry, but we're telling this poem. Also, Tree and the Ugly Vulgarity is a pretty good name for a thing. There we go. We are telling our poem. You begin reciting a poem, The Trampled Chant. You enunciate poorly. We're trying. We're trying our damnedest to not just enunciate poorly, but sometimes, no matter how hard you try, all you can do is enunciate poorly, as is displayed by my stream sometimes. While we tell some poetry, I'm going to pour me some more coffee. So what do you think? Should we try and venture home, chat? We had a run-in with a town of zombies. We came from an elven retreat. We had a run-in with a town of zombies. We murdered some marmots on the road. We climbed a mountain. Yeah, back to the forest retreat. Head home. I mean, this place doesn't seem to be doing so hot. I'm not gonna lie. Like, there is there's dead capybara everywhere. It's a pretty bloody mess in a lot of spots. We finished the poem, then can move out. Gonna mount our jaguar. Goodbye, dwarves. I wish you the best. Who's this? Broad-eared dwarf. Great listener. Hello. I'm Ducimtabar. Have you written a new poem? Oh, do they know me? Let's ask for directions. To Whispers Velvet. I don't know myself. I don't even know anybody that could tell you. Well, that's where I'm headed, so that's my home. Say goodbye. Need to go down a little ways, down to the road that was right here. There it is. And follow the road. Been telling poems for hours. This is fair, yes. I like this traveling goblin poet with a giant jaguar. Was it bloody in there? Yeah, it was bloody in there. The reason it was bloody in there, Aquasar, is because there's capybaras everywhere. We actually witnessed 2 capybaras kill a dwarf. And that's when the fortress despawns. Yeah, a little bit of lag right there. So back to the Elven Forest Retreat that we came from. Dangerous town? I mean, Krallmire was a fun little fort. Not the most exciting, but fun little fort. We also have to write some more poems on the way. I'm sure we'll do, like, you know, the very popular way of playing adventure mode is just being more or less a murder hobo, right? Let's come down from... Oh, I'm still in the mountains. Damn it. The popular way of playing adventure mode is, you know, just being a murder hobo, right? But, or at least that's one of the more common ways. But I think it's kind of interesting to just try and not do that. Actually, you know what? Let's swap up to the travel menu. Just grab a screenshot of that real quick. If you want to follow along, Aqua, if you want to see the screenshots of the things that we've done, if you jump into the Dayfort stock, there is a link in the, or an area of the Dayfort stock called Adventurers. This is the one that we're currently playing. This little goblin right there. The reason I'm playing a goblin is so that I don't need to worry about eating and drinking. It makes managing adventurers much easier. Oh, there's the marmots that we murdered. Is it the same goblin? No, it's a different goblin. The one is from last time is also listed. What, just being a murder hobo? I mean, that's how most people play RPGs, just ever. It's the path of least resistance for playing RPGs, that's for sure. Which is ironic. An elven cultured goblin for sure, yes. I mean, they have giant jaguars, so it's definitely an elven cultured goblin. So we're gonna walk around this. We're gonna stick to the road. And the reason we're gonna stick to the road is because I'm gonna take a brief walk up here. That town right there, we visited that on the way in, and let's just say it's very full of zombies. How's today's stream been? Today's stream's been pretty chill. Chat, how's today's stream been? Taylor would like to know. I'm very deep in many projects. I've been working an absurd amount, even by my standards. I've been streaming, you know, like my normal hours, and then after I'm done streaming, I've been editing for another 4 to 5 hours a night recently. Quiet. What, today's stream? Yeah, it's been kind of slow. We've had a couple slow days recently, but unfortunately, comes with the season. I'm just going to ignore that joke, Aqua. Because zombie towns have existed in Dwarf Fortress for a lot longer than CDDA. We attacked the marmot. Giant jaguar had to just paw swipe the marmot. Hey, look, a bunch of Kias. Hi, Kias. Some more Kias. Just like violently gore up. Oh, roadkill. Whoops. I think I hit a mountain goat. I'm just like, you know, randomly slamming into the local wildlife. I wouldn't say today's stream's been particularly quiet, but it's certainly been chill. Quiet would imply nobody tuned in, which is definitely not true. Whoa, missed the road. There it is. Where am I? Almost through this. It's nice playing adventure mode without having to worry about eating and drinking. Not gonna lie. I may have missed the road, but you didn't miss the road kills. I mean, you could say that. Tiny little mountain right there that I can't, you know, go over. Following the river. We spent some time in that little mountain range right there. The sun is going down. I need somewhere to sleep. Let's stop right next to the river right here. Work our way down just a little bit. We'll go write another poem. Going to dismount and let's compose a poem. The Orb of Focus, the Lavender Bewilderment. Of the Tomb of Ash. Let's try that. We are composing another work. You have composed Vermin's Ever Onward. The work has no particular subject. The writing is quite cruel, but the poetry is great. No, this is... So I have two worlds. One that's on the most recent version, which is this one, and then the Long Death world. I do not retire Long Death, so this is in my Dayfort's world. My Dayfort's world is the one that I play on the weekends, which is actually public to download. If you want it, you can just type an ! Dayforts and download it. You'll get a link to this document, which will give you a link to that, which is where you can download all of these. And oopsies, I just accidentally deleted a thing. And then these are the 2 adventures I've done in this world. And these are all the forts I've done in this world, if you want to look them up. Yeah. There's screenshots of all of them. There's some information in the different factions, as well as some stories we've dug up from legends. It's a good time. So if you want to help us discover as much about this world as possible, you can do that. Going to sleep until the sun comes up. Oh, look at that. Bunch of wild boar. Now mount my Jaguar and we're gonna head out. No, I was prone, not stunned. I was prone, so I just had to stand up. You wake up lying down from sleep. And this is home. Well, not this one, the one above. That's Wispball, the Forest Retreat. We're going to this one. Whispers Velvet, the Forest Retreat. I'm going to go to that cluster of tree houses. We're going to go tell the poetry that we wrote. Because I stood up. So if you hit S, you can lie down. Or rather, if you hit S, you can lie down. So that was me prone. So you wake up lying down. So I hit S and then mounted my Jaguar. Just looking for some elves up in the trees. It's really weird seeing... It's gonna go beat up some wild boar. Adra with the 40 months. Cheers, man. Thank you very much for keeping that subscription alive for a 40th month. It's almost as long as you could possibly have a subscription up to my channel, which is crazy, man. Oh, there we go. There's a big old platform. This one. That's J. It's not letting me climb. What? Ah, there we go. North above. There we go. And there we go. We're up back home. And I'm going to begin a performance. Let's tell a story first about a site. Let's tell a story about Kralmire, the place that we just visited. Kralmire was a fortress. Let's tell a story about Krugsmash, who was one of the dwarves there. Of the settling of the dwarf Krugsmash in Kralmire. Loyalty has value, says one of the other elves. You should always keep the broader picture in mind. Let's, oopsies. I don't want to interrupt my performance. I told the story quite well, in fact. It's quite a long story. Rubber trees are just a bunch of stacked tires. And I'm gonna recite a poem. I wonder what the name of the one that I just wrote was. Vermin's Ever Onward. Vermin's Ever Onward. Vomits, and nothing more. Vermin's Ever Onward. The Tomb of Ash is a light poetic form concerning death, originating in the matched incense. So this is a poem that I wrote. I speak well. My good poem, yes. Because it was great, specifically. You begin the third line. And you conclude your performance. And we lie down. Seems like a chill little adventure. Like, in summary, we started here in this place because we are a goblin who's part of an elven faction. We went on a little walk. We walked down to one of the other. We visited the neighboring forest retreat. We walked through the mountains. We wrote some poems. We visited a dwarven town that is overrun by zombies. We ran away from the zombies. We walked down to one of my old fortresses, which is Kralmire, spoke with some of the dwarves there, witnessed a murder, or rather a bunch of capybaras murder a dwarf, and we told some poetry there, got well known within that fort, and walked back over here. Went back home. Oh, also, lots of roadkill on the way. But I think it's time to retire at this location and rest for a while. It was a fun little goblin. It is time for us to jump over to Long Death. Go to a different version of the game, a different save, a different install, different everything. So what do you guys think of the little spats of adventure mode? Now that we're, you know, doing this a little bit more. What do we think? I know I'm not the greatest at this, and so thus my adventure modes are going to be super chill and just kind of like sightseeing and wandering around and telling poetry and dancing on tables and stuff. I guess next we have to do a dancer, right? I mean, a goal for this world is something we could do is we could